To be an Eddie Stobart driver, you have to be prepared for anything.
Blues and twos over there. Looks like a lorry's gone over.
If I make a sudden movement, I'm either going to hit a car outside of me or I'm going to hit the barrier.
Even the best tanker drivers, they all have accidents.
Their 3,000 truckers are well known for their smart green uniforms, strict code of conduct, and making deliveries with military precision.
We don't want red lights. Getting tight. Come on. Fine lines make a big difference.
So it's no surprise 1 in 10 are ex-army.
Stobart's, who's managed and driven by ex-forces.
They work long hours, spend weeks away from home, and are used to extreme pressure.
Oh, they've shut the bloody road because the wiped out again.
Welcome to life as a trucker. Look at this.
The pressure's on now, mate. The pressure's on.
All to help keep Britain running. Coming up, Stobart helps out the army on one special mission.
Not every day you have 50 soldiers sort of stopping in your warehouses, is it?
It's jobs for the boys as the company takes on new recruits.
We are looking for a good high standard of driving.
One ex-squaddie tries his luck.
The reason I want to work for Eddie Stobart is decent pay.
And trucker Paul shares tales of his rock and roll past.
That's me with Bonnie Tyler. That was a good tour, very good tour.
Eddie Stobart delivers to some of the biggest supermarket chains in Britain, but they have one international contract that's worth over £2 million a year, transporting food to the British Armed Forces' official supermarket, the Navy. They serve a little taste of home to our troops and their families stationed in Germany.
I shop here a hell of a lot more than I do the German shops because it's just a little bit more homely. Makes it a little bit easier being away from the country.
The Army's rations start their journey back in Britain at the NAFI warehouse in Preston, Lancashire. And it's down to Stobart's international trampers to get the goods over to Europe and behind the wire.
Anything you find in your normal supermarket in England, you'll get in those shops there. They are English supermarkets for the English troops in Germany. Because I don't think they want to live off German sausages all the time.
And the man taking charge of the British bangers is 26-year-old Steve Lester.
I've been driving for them for about 3.5 years now, and since then I've been on the fridges, just transporting chilled foods, frozen foods.
He knows all too well the important role truckers play in keeping the supermarket shelves stocked.
If the truck wheels stop moving, everyone suffers.
With 87 cages of assorted groceries loaded, Steve hits the road. From the Preston depot, Steve's travelling 300 miles to the Eurotunnel for a train bound for Calais.
I've been on the NAFIs many times. If you get a good day on the traffic, you can do it in 8 hours driving. You've just got to pick your times. You don't want to go around the M25 during rush hour.
To ensure the food is delivered in optimum condition, the delivery is done like a relay race by 2 drivers. Steve is doing the first leg and dropping the trailer as far as Belgium for a second driver to continue the run.
Half an hour after we've dropped it, it's left our yard in Belgium and it's on its way to Germany.
It's a military operation, and Steve can't afford to miss his train or it could jeopardise the entire mission. So he trucks on into the night without stopping.
It's going pretty well at the moment. We're just approaching junction 24, the M25, which is Potter's Bar. And thankfully, being 8 o'clock at night, the motorway's dead. And that's exactly how I like it, nice and quiet.
Steve's truck boards the Eurotunnel train and he takes a seat in the driver's compartment to get a well-deserved 40-minute rest. Once he hits France, he'll travel the 110-mile journey to Stobart's Lokeren depot in Belgium. Lokeren is Stobart's only depot on the European mainland. It employs 5 drivers who live permanently in Belgium. 2 are locals and 3 are British. And one of the expats is 56-year-old Paul Scott. He and his beloved Kaylee Rachel are waiting for Steve Lester and his army cargo.
I like to keep it clean because it's like my home. Hate dust.
Paul is Stobart's official NAFI tramper and has been driving for Stobart for 10 years.
I've been travelling around Europe for close on 30 years now. I've lived in Italy for a little while. I live in Belgium now. My mum always used to say that if ever there was a true European, she said that you were it.
Before joining the company, he drove tour buses for some of the biggest bands in the 80s.
That's me with Bonnie Tyler. It was a good tour, very good tour. This one's me with Bob Geldof.
Paul has even been on the road with his idol Bruce Dickinson, the lead singer of Iron Maiden.
I've been to Bruce Dickinson's house. I've been in his house. Made me a cup of tea and, a cup of coffee actually, and some toast for breakfast.
Having toured for 15 years, Paul has lived the rock and roll lifestyle.
We did have some wild nights. In Austria, I remember one night, basically we chatted up these girls, and one of them owned this restaurant on the lake, so we went back to the restaurant and she barbecued some fresh trout. Oh, you never taste anything like it. It was fantastic.
Rock and roll indeed. With Paul spending up to 100 hours a week in his cab, he has one of the most pimped-out trucks in the fleet.
Got my sat-nav on the table there. I carry my own little vacuum cleaner, rechargeable one. The computer's there on the table in the middle. I do use it for listening to the music when I get fed up with the radio. Fridge in the middle. It's got all my essentials in it. I've got my coffee machine there. There's 2 satellite speakers. There's one there and there's one behind the curtain there. There's sub bass underneath the passenger seat there, so good bass. Got a comfortable bed. Night eater. Yeah, it's like home from home, really.
The only thing Paul's cab is missing is a bathroom, so he'll have to settle for the depot's washing facilities.
Right, I'm just going to have a quick shave, I think, ready for tomorrow.
Stobart like their drivers to look presentable, as they're the public face of the company. But Paul has never lost his rock and roll image.
I picked up a band in Cologne in Germany one time. Biohazard, I think they were called. They're an American thrash metal band. And when I walked in the hotel, introduced myself, they said, "My God, we've got a bus driver who looks like us." Because they're used to clean shaven, sort of short hair, shirt and tie and everything. But no, that wasn't me. Well, that's not rock and roll, is it? You know? I think that'll do. I'm not going on a date. Oh, that feels better anyway.
After his 410-mile journey, Steve Lester's arrived with the naffy goods, and Paul's itching to hit the road.
We do like to get them out as quickly as possible. Because it's chilled products, it's got an expiry date, so the sooner we can get the stuff to the naffy stores, they can get them on the shelves, and the better for everybody, you know. Well, that's it. Fully loaded, everything's sorted, so we're ready to go.
Being a true European, Paul can't start his day without his morning ritual.
Yeah, nice coffee. We'll watch that later. Right, it's time to get going. Else the naffy will be shouting at us.
Paul is heading 220 miles from the Lokeren depot in Belgium through Holland to his final destination, the army barracks in Gütersloh, Germany. The army is waiting for its favourite British brands. Sliced white bread, tea bags and fresh milk are some of the best-selling items.
I think it's a typical British thing that they like to have British products. You know, I sometimes wonder, like, because we take potatoes and milk and eggs over, well, obviously you can get these products in Germany just the same as you can in England, but they like to see the English brands and everything, sort of thing. So, yeah, maybe they're just being patriotic, by British, you know.
And there are some basic ingredients that the troops can't get their hands on.
Funnily enough, turnips. It's unreal, but you don't tend to get those over here. They'll say, "What's a turnip?"
Making the naffy run is about more than just turnips for this proud Englishman.
I like the idea of doing something for the troops, like. And obviously, a lot of the troops that are in Germany, they've been to Afghanistan and places like that. And a lot of the guys are going in the future. So it is a good feeling to know that we're, you know, helping to look after them, basically. They're looking after us in the long run, and we do our bit to make life easier for them.
Coming up, Paul gets in the fast lane as he hits the German Autobahn.
They go past that fast sometimes that the cab actually shakes.
And one driver is reminded how dangerous trucking can be.
When you think about what you've got on the back, it's a killing machine, isn't it, really?
Travelling through Europe 116 miles from his final destination is 56-year-old rock and roller Paul Scott. He's carrying a trailer full of groceries for the official supermarket of the British Armed Forces, the NAFI.
We crossed the border at Venlo from Netherlands into Germany.
Driving on German motorways has one major difference: no speed limit.
The roads are usually in very, very good condition. They've got to be pretty smooth and in good condition because a lot of the motorways, the autobahns here, haven't got speed restrictions.
Like Stobart, all European trucks are limited to 56 miles an hour. So all drivers like Paul can do is watch the cars fly by.
So we'll be doing 90 kilometres an hour, they'll be doing about 250. They go past that fast sometimes that the cab actually shakes.
With the roads running with German efficiency, Paul nears the barracks, where he'll make his delivery just 5.5 hours after leaving Stobart's Belgian depot.
Just coming into the outskirts of Gütersloh now. So all being well, the soldiers will get their snacks on time, they'll be able to get the pork pies and whatever they need.
Many NAFI stores are situated behind the wire on British Army bases. With such high levels of security, not just any civilian can enter uninvited. But Paul isn't just any civilian.
Right, we're about to head inside the wire at PRB. That's Princess Royal Barracks in Gütersloh.
Being the official NAFI tramper, he's been given his very own MOD military pass, allowing him access to British Army barracks in Germany.
All right?
Yeah, are you all right?
Yeah, that's great. Cheers, mate.
Great. All right, mate. Cheers. Take care, mate. Cheers. The card that I showed him is it's a pass to actually get onto the military camps. It's an MOD pass for contractors. That's it. Mission accomplished. NAFI, Gütersloh, here it comes. Sorted. Thank you very much. See you again.
Thanks to Paul, our troops stationed in Germany can treat themselves to the best of British.
As a good Englishman, we crave bacon egg sandwiches, we crave Cornish pasties, we crave clotted cream. It builds our morale, if you like. If we're missing home, missing family, it's a little taste of home, and it just brings us a bit closer to it.
But it's not just the troops who can't resist a little taste of home.
Bacon back, please.
A bacon back?
Yeah, thanks. That's great. Thank you very much. See, I always look forward to a nice bacon sandwich. I don't get homesick, but there are certain things that I do miss. It's different bacon you get in Belgium. It's not the same as UK bacon. So, there we go. Nice bacon back.
It's been another successful mission for Paul.
Tomorrow morning I'll be back down to Lokeren, back in Belgium, and that's it. And then Friday I'll be back up here again into Germany again, doing it all over.
Eddie Stobart drivers cover the distance round the Earth 24 times a day, carrying 16 million tonnes of goods around the UK and Europe.
We're unsung heroes. We've got to get the food into the store so they can buy it. You know, unsung heroes, that's what we are.
All-round cheeky chappie, Eric Cullen has been a Stobart employee for 15 years.
I like to think I'm friendly. I like to think I get on with a lot of people. Good looking, slim. I wish.
In his former life, Eric spent 15 years as a section commander in the anti-tank platoon, serving in Northern Ireland and the Falklands.
That teach me to wash shave, make me bed, how to hide my pants, which I've never done in my life. All down the bullshit, really.
But life in the army trained him for life on the road.
Long hours, being away from home a lot. That could be better paid.
Today, Eric is on the M1 with the heaviest load he could possibly carry. 28 tonnes of paper destined for Sweden.
Today's job is basically going down to Tillbury Docks. We're going to tip and reload.
Eric's making a gruelling 700-mile round trip from Workington in West Cumbria down to Tillbury Docks in Essex and then back up again with a load of pulp for the paper mill.
We'll say Stobart's really take the raw material down and deliver the finished goods. There's not many companies can say that.
As Eric nears the junction for the M25, he hits a traffic jam.
You try not to get the stress like affect you, you know,
just try to chill out and be relaxed, and then there's nothing you can do about it, so why get upset? You got to think of the whole blood pressure, you know, at my age. And plus we pay badly well.
20 minutes behind his deadline and traffic worsening, Eric calls his planner.
He's going to phone and let him know that we're going to have a slight delay due to traffic.
Good morning, Eddie Stobart. Joanne speaking, I can help.
Good morning, Joanne. It's Eric.
Hi, Derek.
How are you?
Ari.
We're just going to be slightly delayed down to Tillbury due to traffic.
All right, Derek.
Okie doke. Cheers now. Cheers, Joanne. Bye now.
Bye.
Should she call you Derek?
I think so. Well, it looks like they shut the lane leading onto the M25, but we'll soon find out. You'd want to be a trucker.
As Eric gets through the jam, he's given a chilling reminder just how risky his job can be.
Container on its side. Big time. So, yeah, it is a dangerous job, without a doubt. But when you think about what you've got on the back, loaded up to about like 44 ton, you know, it's a killing machine, isn't it, really? You never know what's going to happen. You know, that's the problem there, you know. Car just pulls up in front of you, you've got a brake sharp, you load, you shoot your load, you're over on the side before you even know it. And say if you hit the car, I mean, you might be okay, but I don't think the car's going to be, you know, I don't think he's going to be coming out looking like Tom Cruise, is he? More like Quasimodo. Shouldn't say that really, should I?
Eric's 30 minutes behind schedule, but with the traffic cleared, he makes up for lost time.
We're on to the M25. A little small detour, it didn't take us long. We should have no problems now getting to Tilbury.
Tillbury Docks is one of the busiest ports in Britain. Everyday ships from as far afield as Africa, South America and Russia dock there.
Well, it's one of the biggest docks in the UK, and you'll see for yourself when you get down there. Exports, imports.
And with over £1 billion of goods coming through the port every year, they need the toughest security on the gate. Former soldiers from the Gurkha Regiment.
There's our little Gurkha friends here. You wouldn't want to be an unwanted guest, would you? You know, with them guys guarding the place. You've got to be on your best behaviour. Don't do anything daft, because you don't mess about. Here we are, 1944.
Tillbury Docks covers an area that's the size of 425 football pitches. Ships from around the globe dock in the port's 5 miles of water 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Stobart moves enough cardboard and paper from the dock each week to make 18 million newspapers. Eric pulls back his curtain side so his 28 tons of paper can be unloaded. A specially designed forklift springs into action. Its clamp-like jaws can lift up to 5 tons.
Each one of those reels there will be about 2 ton. Once he's sorted himself out here, he'll start to proceed to load the pulp.
20 tons of raw pulp will now be loaded onto Eric's trailer. The Lind H120 forklift positions the heavy load directly down the centre. If he gets it wrong, there could be disastrous consequences for Eric.
You're not trying to get him in the middle of the red lines. He balances the trailer, so there's no movement whatsoever. If you can imagine if it's over this side and you take a corner too fast, that's going to help towards, you know, like we've seen earlier on, the accident on the M25, the tipping on its side. So you've got to make sure you get it balanced and right down the middle. We've always done it that way, and we haven't lost one yet. Touch wood.
Eric's truck is finally loaded and he's ready to hit the road.
That's us. We'll escape from Alcatraz and we're on our way up to sunny Waking.
Coming up.
Got a bit of a mission now.
Eric wastes no time for his delivery.
Put to the board and away we go.
Hi lads, listening!
And the Stobart depot is turned into an army base.
Not every day you have 50 soldiers sort of stopping in your warehouses, is it?
After picking up a load of pulped paper from Tillbury Docks, tramper Eric Cullen has just spent the night in his truck at Stobart's Sherborne depot just outside Leeds.
Sleep well? Yeah, it was okay, yeah. Yeah, luxury. 5-star.
Before he hits the road, he does what every Stobart driver does at the beginning of their shift. Gets himself spruced up.
Time to make myself look decent, I suppose. This is it. This is as good as it gets. I mean, you can say for yourself, it's basic, but it does the job. You know, lots of somewhere to get a wash, brush my teeth. The first thing in the morning, you've got to brush your teeth. It just makes you feel good. Start of a good day, hopefully. And no, I'm not taking my shirt off.
Primped and preened, Eric's ready to get trucking.
We're on a bit of a mission now, since if we don't get a pull, there'll be no paper. So there'll be no stop for a cup of tea on the way, I'm afraid. Foot to the board and away we go.
Eric has to drive 134 miles from Sherborne across the Pennines to Iggeson's paper mill in Workington, Cumbria.
Main obstacles today, it could be roadworks, possible accident on the 66, renowned for accidents, fender benders. Let's just stop, touch wood.
When driving through rural Britain, it's not just accidents that can hold you up.
We've got a tractor on our front door. Dirty wheelers, we call them in the trade. Slow everybody up. I think they own the roads because they've got farms. Thank God the tractor's gone the other way. We should be able to make it now. We're pushing a little bit of time now, but we should just be able to make it. Keep them happy, won't it?
Eric arrives at the mill bang on his ETA.
Welcome to Iggeson's. On time as usual.
Iggeson's mill produces paperboard used to box pharmaceuticals and tobacco products. Stobart delivers over 300 tonnes of pulp to the mill every day.
Well, where did I put my file?
First, Eric needs to hand in his paperwork. Trouble is, he can't find it, and that means he could be turned away.
Typical. I'm definitely losing it. This is going good, isn't it? I've got the notes. We'll find it, don't worry. It'll turn up somewhere. Don't know where, but it'll turn up. Don't know where, though. Is this good telly? It's gone. Bingo. God for that. Starting to get worried there, you know. Right. We'll go and book in, shall we? There you go, Gary.
With his admin sorted, the mill unload Eric's 20 tonnes of pulp.
It's obviously been urgent because he's been on the job straight away. Normally you have to wait here half hour, but he stayed on to it.
Delivery made, Eric's back on the road and heading to his home depot.
Now we're on the A66, heading down towards Penrith and the fabulous Lake District. Absolutely fantastic. Take a look around, man.
Eddie Stobart has 42 depots dotted around the UK and Europe, but their spiritual home will always be Cumbria, because this is where the business started 40 years ago.
There's not many Stobart depots that has a view like this. Beautiful, isn't it?
Cumbria is one of the most picturesque areas of Britain, but living here can come at a cost. In 2009, some of the worst floods in British history brought devastation to the area surrounding Stobart's Workington depot.
On the town centre is wiped out, basically wiped out. The shops, the hotels, everything. It's really just starting to get back on its feet now.
All three of Workington's bridges were washed away, cutting off half the community. The Army's Royal Engineers came to the town's rescue and lent them a temporary footbridge.
It's what the engineers put up, basically used for people to walk across, connect the two towns, two sides of the town, really. And it was named after P.C. Barker, who tragically lost his life on the North Side Bridge. What that bridge meant to the community was a lifeline. I mean, you've got to understand, basically that part of the town was cut off from this part. And this part of the town is the town centre where they do the shopping, Tesco's and places like that.
The council has opened a newly built bridge, so it's time for the Army to take the temporary one back to be used elsewhere, and it's asked Stobart for help. Eric's boss and former soldier Mike Burgess has offered space in his Workington depot to house 50 soldiers while the Army retrieves the bridge.
There's about 10,000 square foot here which we've gave to the military just so they're sort of self-contained. And basically they're just going to operate from here, and then they've got a big car park on the back where they're going to actually be dismantling the bridge and then loading them onto low loaders, not for future, for transporting down to wherever they're going to take them.
For former soldier Mike, having the army stay at his warehouse is a real treat.
Yeah, I'm quite happy to have the army. I think that gives us something else to do. I think about, you know what I mean? Not every day you have 50 soldiers sort of stopping in your warehouses, is it?
Soldiers from the Royal Engineers, Royal Logistic Corps and Territorial Army roll in.
Right, lads, listen in. Quick safety brief for the time we're going to be here at Eddie Stobart's.
Sergeant Stuart Rowe has served in the Royal Engineers for 12 years.
Speed limit on site is 10 miles an hour, so let's stick to it. We want all the tents put up and we want all the wagons unloaded. So let's go.
It's his job to set up the makeshift camp.
OK, as you're walking around, you'll see we've got brew areas, 24-hour brew area. This is my personal tent and obviously the essential kettle for late night drinking. Further along, we've got Staff KV. He is obviously keeping our fleet up and running. We've got critical assets, some of the vehicles that we cannot afford to go down for more than 2 hours. As you can see, yet again, another brew area. Army marches on brew areas. This is our rest area, eating area, everything area. Tents we see on this side are the lads' accommodation tents. So there you go, you've got some sleeping beauties in there. Probably not so much beauties.
Eric's on his way back to the depot to meet his boss, Mike Burgess, to see how the army is settling in. Eric and Mike go back 30 years. They were army buddies.
When we were in the army, I was some company from day one, which is not a specialist company, it's part of the battalion. It's where all the elite end up. Mike eventually did get there later on in life when he did end in the mortar platoon. But mostly through his career, he was always in frontline troops. As we say, cannon fodder.
If you want to know about his military background, he was a very shy, quiet young lad who did exactly as he was told, to the best of his ability, without question. It's a shame he's not like that now.
Once Eric's back at the depot, he and Mike can't resist finding out what the new arrivals are up to.
When have I been back?
Sergeant Stu shows Eric the components that make up the bridge.
Jesus! God! I've had it cushion for 15 years. You got it? Yeah. Oh, my finger!
But it's the Army's old Bedford trucks that soon grab Eric's attention.
Brings back memories. When I used to have a Bedford when Bedfords were Bedfords. No power steering. I've got a power steering here, automatic gearbox.
But one piece of kit a Stobart truck doesn't have is a rifle holder.
Hey, you ain't got one of them in your truck either.
Well, the old rifle thing there. I sometimes could do with one, though. Especially the women drivers.
You're brave, you are. Brave or stupid, one of the two. You're brave.
The Army don't travel lightly. As well as bringing 8 Bedfords, they've brought 2 huge Seddon Atkinsons, the daddy of them all. The Seddon Atkinson has been used by the Army to transport its heavy equipment since the early 90s. It's got the capacity to carry a mega 46 tonnes. That's 18 tonnes more than a standard Stobart truck. It weighs 24 tonnes. That's more than 3 double-decker buses. Eric can't resist taking this warhorse for a spin.
Oh, geez, a long time since I drove these. No pressure. Come on, then.
Having driven a Stobart truck for the past 15 years,
you get the old pressure up, doesn't it?
Eric's army training seems like a distant memory.
I'm getting a lesson.
Luckily, Sergeant Stu shows Eric how it's done.
It's got a lot to learn, I think, do you not? I think he hasn't found second yet, so he'll be back in an hour. Come on, Eric, lad.
After some basic instructions on how to use the gears, Eric gets the Army's truck back in one piece.
Where you been, Eric? How did that go, Eric?
Yeah, it was fantastic. Yeah,
on the gears,
back memories.
You've been an hour.
Yeah, we're just trying to find the gears.
Fun over. It's time for Eric and Mike to let the Army get back to their mission.
Spot on, thank you very much.
The soldiers are working round the clock to get the 95-ton bridge taken down in 2 weeks. At over 170 feet, it's the longest temporary footbridge the Army has ever erected, made of over 130 pieces. Each section is removed piece by piece, then loaded onto the Army's flatbed trucks and transported the half-mile journey to Stobart's depot. They get cleaned before being sent back to the Army's Longmoor military base in Hampshire, ready for redeployment.
This place has been amazing for us. The area that the council offered us originally was a field. It would have been tents outside in the elements. All the welfare facilities we've got would not have been able to be set up. With Eddie Stobart's given us this area for us to work in has been ideal.
And for the people of Workington like Eric, the temporary bridge coming down closes a chapter on a devastating time for the town.
Well, after the floods, I think the community's getting back together. Now we've got the road bridge up and going. That's helped tremendously. Obviously, the Barker Bridge is being took down by the engineers, as we've shown. Yeah, I think the community now is well back on its feet and looking forward to the future.
Eddie Stobart is one of the busiest haulage firms in Britain. It employs over 3,000 drivers. And with the business expanding at a rapid rate, it needs to find 600 more this year alone.
Today we're recruiting new drivers. There's a big recruitment drive on at the moment for various contracts that we've got within the company.
35-year-old driver trainer Lee Dowling is one of the men tasked with finding them.
What my job is to ensure that all drivers are trained up to Stobart standards.
Lee knows how important it is for him to put the hopeful candidates at ease.
First and foremost, you've got to have a really friendly and approachable manner, because if you haven't got that, the drivers just aren't going to be able to feel relaxed to come up to you. So, yeah, creme de la creme, no, we're not, no.
Stobart advertise for new drivers through its website. Each year it receives around 8,000 applications from drivers eager to don the green uniform.
Hopefully, we'll get quite a few drivers today.
With only 1 in 8 applicants being offered a job, competition is tough.
It's okay, well, Stobart, you okay? Yeah. Brilliant, right, if you come through here with me.
First up, a multiple choice theory test on the trucker's highway code.
So what you've got here then, mate, is driving assessment questionnaire.
Get less than 18 out of 25 and they face being sent home.
The guys do know it, but when you put one of these assessment papers in front of them, their brains just go to clouds. What is a minimum weekly rest you can take? It's 24 hours that you can reduce down to now. Yeah. You've put 45. Yeah, you're okay on that. You've passed on that one, mate. Yeah, good. The sigh of relief on your face there, mate. You kind of said it all.
All wannabe drivers must already have an HGV Class 1 licence, but Lee needs to see for himself how confident they are behind the wheel.
Just round, we basically follow that truck in front.
Okay, yeah.
And we're just looking for a safe and professional drive. So at the roundabout, you're going to take your second exit, a good use of mirrors, they're not cutting cars up, because at the end of the day, these guys are going to be driving our biggest advertisement, which is the truck. So we are looking for a good high standard of driving.
The third and final stage is a formal interview with Lee's boss, Pete Law. He'll be looking to see if candidates have the right personality and attitude before joining the fleet.
Hi, Norman. Thank you very much.
Fine, Pete.
All right.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, like I say, we'll be in touch in the next couple of days and we'll just take it from there. All right?
Right, lovely job.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much, Norman.
Okay, right, bye-bye.
33-year-old former squaddie John Lake served for 8 years as an infantry soldier with the Royal Logistic Corps. Since leaving the army in 2003, he's been a freelance truck driver getting his work through agencies. But now he's looking for something more permanent.
The reason I want to work for Eddie Stobart is they're a large company, one of the biggest in the UK. They seem well organised, good equipment and decent pay.
With the starting salary for a tramper being around 28 grand a year, John is hoping to become one of the many ex-servicemen to enlist.
You've got the driving assessment questionnaire.
Former soldiers are looked upon favourably by Stobart. 1 in 5 drivers is ex-forces.
One of the advantages of ex-forces becoming drivers is that they're very keen to get on and do the best in everything that they do. And that is what we expect of our drivers, to be smart and to carry out their jobs to the best of their abilities.
Even driver-trainer Lee is a former military man.
Yeah, I was in the forces myself, spent 3 years in the Royal Logistic Corps and then transferred over to the Royal Engineers. Spent about 3 years with the Royal Engineers. So, yeah, it's good. Thoroughly enjoyed my time.
After passing his multiple-choice theory test, John is now going out on the road with Lee.
At the roundabout ahead, mate, we're going to take the first exit, which is turning left, so we're going to go up the A5.
OK.
It doesn't take long before they discover they were both in the Royal Logistic Corps.
What did you serve us?
I served the RLC.
Yeah, I was in RLC.
Yeah, when they said he was in the Pioneer for that.
The future's looking good for John.
John's assessment went really well. He's a really good driver, extremely safe and professional. So hopefully, when he goes to interview now, he passes that and get him into a truck because he's really keen to drive for us. So.
Right, John.
Okay, then.
Thank you very much. We'll obviously be in touch with you in the next couple of days. Yeah. And all the best for future and stuff. Okay. All right, buddy?
Cheers, mate.
See you again. See you later. Cheers. Yes, John would be offered a position with us in the next couple of days. We'll make a phone call and make a verbal offer of employment with him.
Coming up.
A little nervous today.
It's rookie John's first day.
My school uniform was green, then I went in the army, that was green. Now Eddie Stobart, now that's green.
And romance blossoms for Eric.
Been engaged now for 9 years. So I've decided next year we're going to get married.
God almighty. Stobart has been having a major recruitment drive. It needs to crew up an extra 600 drivers, and one of its new starters is former squaddie John Lake.
I was offered a job Monday to Friday, tramping, which I'm quite happy about. Get the weekends to myself.
After passing Stobart's rigorous testing process and undertaking 2 days intensive training, John is ready to pick up his iconic Stobart uniform.
I've been in green all my life. My school uniform was green, then I went in the army, that was green. Now Eddie Stobart, now that's green. But I mean, the uniform, it smartens you up, doesn't it? It makes you look the part. So.
New drivers are issued 1 pair of boots, 10 shirts and 3 pairs of trousers. Looking the part, John's ready for duty.
A little nervous, I'm sure I'll be all right. But let's hope there's no mishaps today on the first day.
Sure enough, things don't start smoothly when John gets to his new trailer.
Well, whoever's left it here, they haven't stripped it down, so I've got to strip it down now. Which is a bit of a pain.
The previous driver hasn't put the straps and sidebars away, so it's down to John to do the dirty work.
And for me to come in on my first day and have this, I think somebody's stitched me up.
After 20 minutes of hard graft, John gets his trailer stripped, but it's put him behind schedule.
There's just some jobs the driver's got to do.
John's been driving for smaller haulage companies for 8 years, but he's already noticed a difference working for Stobart.
Yeah, it feels good. Being on the road, you get a lot more looks in the Eddie Stobart. So, you have to behave yourself.
John's arriving at a soft drinks warehouse at Lutterworth in Leicestershire.
10 minutes late, but we should be all right.
The first part of John's mission is to drop off his empty trailer.
I'm going to then go and collect my next trailer, which is already loaded to go to Purfleet.
With his empty trailer swapped for one full of soft drinks, John hits the road. From Lutterworth, he's heading 109 miles to a supermarket depot in Purfleet, Essex. He's getting familiar with his new truck, Emma Alexandra.
This will be my home now for 4 nights, 5 days. It's good. I mean, the equipment is fantastic, isn't it? You know, it's top of the range Volvo. I mean, before this, I was doing work on the agency, and some of the trucks you get given are absolute, you know, they're diabolical. Some of them aren't even roadworthy, and you just say, no, I'm not taking it out. You have to take your hat off to Stobart because it's a well-run company.
Having clocked up the first of many miles for Stobart, John arrives at the Purfleet depot ready to unload his soft drinks.
There we go. Tesco.
200,000 cans ready to hit the shelves.
Yeah, I make my first delivery for Stobart. Feels quite good. Start of a long career, hopefully. And Let's just hope it just runs smoothly.
Tramper Eric Cullen has been on the road all week. He's on his way back to Stobart's depot near Workington, where his partner Andrea of 12 years also works.
My partner Andrea, love of my life. When I go home at weekends, I do nothing. Folk laugh when I say that. And she does everything. I sometimes feel guilty because she works as well, you know. You know, maybe I should let her put her feet up and me do the other in the ironing. But then, maybe not,
Having your girlfriend working for Stobart can have its disadvantages. Every depot has an ISOTRAC system that can pinpoint a driver's whereabouts at any one time.
Since we've got this ISOTRAC, she can see me 24/7. There's no going to the lad books or the pub now, is there? And if I try to lie, well, I can't, can I? Oh, that's a good lot to answer to putting that ISOTRAC in this cab.
For trampers like Eric, being on the road all week can come at a cost. He's missed Valentine's Day and Andrea isn't happy.
She's not for me for 2 days. So now I'm seriously worried. So anyway, so I thought about it, and I think I should buy her some flowers. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy some flowers, and hopefully it'll put her in a good mood for the weekend. Hiya. I didn't get my partner any flowers, so I'm just hoping you can help me out big time, eh?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely gorgeous, yeah. She'll love them.
Nice.
Fantastic, yes. Cheers. And there you go. Could I have a receipt, please, if you don't mind? Just always you throws them back at me, I can say, well, here you are. You owe me that. Thank you very much. Cheers now. Bye. I hope these will work, yeah. They should do. I mean, look at that. It'll melt any woman's heart, wouldn't it? Yeah? I'm going to see that? Maybe not so.
A nervous Eric heads back to the depot to surprise his unsuspecting partner.
Why's she frozen back at me? She's in the office right now, I've just seen her. Just give her a little wave, but there's no reaction. That's not looking good, is it? Well, here goes nothing. Let's go.
Eric pulls Andrea out of work to give her his peace offering.
I felt you were upset on Monday when I left. I'm not giving you anything for Valentine's Day. And I don't do it, but I just felt a little bit upset. So to make up for it... Oh, a nice bunch of flowers.
Oh, that's lovely, thank you.
Am I forgiven?
No.
Okay.
Not with a bunch of flowers. Maybe a nice weekend away. That'll be nice. It's a start. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Happy belated Valentine's.
Thank you.
It seems the power of flowers has done the job.
The reaction was better than I thought. She normally growl and snarl at me. But, I'll just have to remember next year, won't I?
But Eric's grand gesture isn't enough for Andrea.
What day is this?
You know, we've been engaged for some time, and we often talk about getting married. How do you feel about actually setting a date?
In camera? Andrea! Will you get on one knee?
No, just a cuddle all day.
Just like to say, we decided to set a date. We've been engaged now for 9 years.
Yeah.
So I decided next year we're going to get married. Date to be announced. That's if Andrea will have me.
I'll have
you. No. We've been engaged now for 9 years. And we feel now the time's right to take that final plunge. So we're going to do it next year. Date to be announced. Watch this space. God almighty.
Next time on Eddie Stobart Trucks and Trailers.
10 to 2, don't cross your arms.
Company boss William Stobart takes his son on his first run in a truck.
I'm telling him I passed my HGV first time, so he has to do the same.
But will Edward Stobart Jr. come up to scratch?
Ed, hello? How'd you get on?
Tramper Tim Fox gets stuck in a tricky situation.
Sweating like a glass blower's ass.
And trucker Ashley is involved in an accident.
It's something that's completely sort of shaken me up. Somebody could have been injured, or if not worse.